All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video on Scotch and Rocks. I'm your host, Ian, and today we're going to be doing some winter camping. We're going to do about 3 to 4 days out here in northwest Montana at a campground. There's nobody around, and there's a lake nearby. But as you can see, I got a new car. We'll go over that a little bit later. But I also brought my friend here. I wanted her to come say hi. Say hi to everybody, Ivy. Say hi. So, over the last couple of days, it's been nothing but rain and snow, rain in the valleys and snow in the mountains. So it might be interesting trying to get some firewood, but we're gonna keep going at it. I brought everything this time around because obviously I have a bigger car, but I brought everything. I brought extra water. That way I don't have to worry about the lake. The lake, as we were coming in, was freezing over, so that could create some possible issues. But yeah, we'll get everything set up. I'll get everything going. I'm not gonna lie, this is my first time putting up with the new tent that I have, so I'm not gonna have you guys suffer through that because, again, I don't know exactly what I'm doing. I'm gonna figure it out, and it could take a while. All right, so in the last video, I published about how I had a Mini Cooper, but then I decided to sell it and get something that's a little bit more practical to me, you know, 4-wheel drive, something I could sleep in if I needed to, all that fun stuff. Well, I ended up buying this. Hi, Ivy. I ended up buying this 4Runner, and like I told you in the last video, the engine was dead on it when I bought it. I didn't know it, so I was without a car for 6 months, from April to May, June, July, August, September. Yeah, October, actually November, because there were some other issues that needed taken care of. So it's really cool. It's got 4-wheel drive down there, and then it's got locking rear diff, which is super cool too. It's got a little bit more technology than I would have really liked, but it is what it is. It's, you know, kind of, I guess, what I could afford. So the new tent's up. It's kind of a pain to get up the first time. I'm sure it'll get better or quicker as time goes on. The one thing I really like about it is that it is not polyester, or it's not plastic. It is actual factual, what's that stuff? It's actual factual, anyway, it's what military tents use. I got the tent stove set up, and it's kind of interesting. It's long ways, so there's not much going on as far as remember with my TP tent, there was a lot of space all around. This, not so much. There's kind of a sleeping quarters right in here. I'll show you. Canvas, that was the word that I was looking for. Canvas. So yeah, see, it's got a mosquito net. I got everything stowed in here. Just for now, I'm gonna get some firewood going on the wood stove here. Actually, I'm probably gonna cook outside because it is just too small in there to be doing that. So I'll catch back up with you. I'm gonna go do my favorite activity of all time. Let's go get some firewood. So I'll be back with you guys in just a bit. Can you guys hear that? That's definitely coyotes. I decided that Ivy would be better off in the car for right now. Let her chill out, because I don't really want her dealing with coyotes. And I got some firewood. I'll probably go get some more, but I just figured I'd give you guys an update. Yep. Originally, I didn't know where she was at. It kind of made me a little bit nervous that something was happening to her, but she came running after I yelled for her, so that makes me happy. All right, so got that piece. Got this piece. I'm going to process them up and kind of see where we're at. So the snow is making it a little difficult to find, you know, to really not find it, but difficult at first glance to see what dry wood, you know, where the dry wood is at, because it's covered in snow. So what I like to do is I like to take the saw and just do a little tiny mark, like a really light, gentle mark in the tree. And if it's green, I leave it be, because some of these look super dead, but they're obviously, because it's winter and they're covered in snow. So it's just it takes longer, you know, in the winter time to find wood than it does in the summertime, just because there's some other aspects going on there. Alright, so an update. She started getting really cold, so I had to throw her in the car and turn it on for a while. I think this is the coldest she's ever been out in, like, for an extended period of time, minus walks and you know, just getting out. And you know, she doesn't usually spend days or hours outside. So I started a fire. I'm getting some water boiling because I want to make a cup of coffee. I need to be warmed up from the inside a little bit. So I did the top-down method with this. This has been my new favorite way of making fire. So what you do is you get a base of some pretty big stuff, and you just make a regular fire, but it's like a reverse cabin. So what you do is you start the fire up top, and then all the coals will burn down, and they will start the stuff underneath them on fire. I found that it works really well for getting a really nice bed of coals. And it seems like it starts easier. You don't have to keep blowing on it to get it to go. And yeah, you don't have to mess with it as much because it's already right there, and all the coals are just burning downward. You can see the fire ring is covered in snow. So, like I said, I wanted to have a good bed of coals. I brought sandwiches from the store tonight. I'm just, I work nights, so I went from nights to days yesterday, and I fell asleep at like 8:30 p.m. and I was awake at 2 in the morning, and I've been up since 2 in the morning. So I just don't have the energy to cook and all that stuff. I managed to get the firewood, the tent stocked with firewood, so we decided to call it a night and lay down. It'll be nice and warm. I get a fire going in there, but I think for tonight we're just gonna have sandwiches. And she's gonna have her kibble, maybe some of my sandwich, because I'm a sucker for giving her stuff. All right, so I was able to find more firewood, but ran into a problem because obviously everything's covered in snow, everything's wet. Like I said before, it's been raining and snowing for days and days. So I just had to make do. I attempted to cut those pieces or split those pieces with my hatchet, but they're harder than a coffin nail. There's no way for me to split them. So I just have to kind of pile them on, wait for the top layer of water to burn off, and yeah, just sit here and not enjoy the smoke, but eventually it'll get better. So today's Scotch on the Rocks is brought to you by Johnny Walker. I got this a long time ago as a gift, and I really like it. The other thing the Scotch on the Rocks is being brought to you by this time around is Acid Cigars. I haven't had Scotch in a cigar in a very long time. It's been almost a year. It's been almost a year since I've had Scotch and cigars, and I'm gonna fix that. And before I do, I wanted to kind of talk to everybody about a book that I read and a series that I watched. It was called The Terror. I read the series, or I saw the series first, and then I read the book, and it is a really good show. I highly recommend it. So basically, it's about 18th century, 18th century explorers. So it would be 1847. They decided that they were English, and they were going to try and find the passage through the Arctic, not the Antarctic, the Arctic. And it was all about all their stuff, everything that went wrong, that could go wrong. I don't want to give away everything, but everything that could go wrong did go wrong. And it was just one of those things where I was watching it, and it was like, everything's in the Arctic. There's no firewood. There's no, they have nothing. And all they're doing is, every day is a fight to survive. And then I read the book, and the book was obviously way better than the series, but the series was amazing. Like, I really thoroughly enjoyed it. In fact, I went back and rewatched it again, after reading the book. and I highly recommend it. But the book was really awesome. It's kind of like historical fiction. Like, they don't actually know what happened to all these guys. I guess that's a spoiler alert. I guess they don't know exactly what happened to these guys, but they were able to kind of go back and look and, find some evidence and things like, some evidence, some cans and, memorials. And so it was super interesting. But it was, me looking at it, it's like, everything that could go wrong did go wrong. And, sometimes it's just the way things work out. And so that's why, I enjoy camping, because I end up finding out what's going to go wrong, and like I said, here we are today, and it's cold, and the dog is having an issue, and I got her all settled. I'm really happy about that. She figured out that she had a spot in the tent. She's currently laying there. I put a blanket on her, trying to warm her up. And but as far as the firewood situation goes, getting that wood stove going in the tent's going to be interesting, because getting this going was interesting. But yeah, so I'm going to have scotch and a cigar, and that might end up being my what is that? What do they call that? The video picture or whatever. But all right, guys, I will get back with you if anything changes. So I'm not sure if you can hear that, but that is a perfectly drawn stove right there. Everything was wet. Everything was covered in snow. I know I've said it a bunch, but it holds true right now. So I had to cheat, put a piece of a Duralog in there just to get it to go, because it was just not having anything to do with it. It didn't want to light up. So now that I got some coals going, I got it at least basically set. I could start putting on some big pieces, and I'll kind of show you here. I know it's dark, but you can see right there I got some bigger pieces. I'm gonna throw them on. Got some pieces right there I want to throw them on. But it's about 5:30, and I am absolutely wiped. So is the dog. I'm gonna eat my sandwiches, and probably go to bed. Like I said, been out for a long time, super tired. If anything interesting happens, I will get back with you. But if not, I will see everybody in the morning. Morning. It was a night last night, that's for sure. Got a lot colder than I was expecting. And then this one decided she wasn't happy with her dig, so she came and tried crawling in my sleeping bag. So sleeping bag's partially open, and got some blankets, and she didn't want to stay on her side of the tent, so she ended up sleeping with me. She was a lot warmer sleeping with me. She was shaking a lot last night until she moved, and the tent stove, it worked a little too well. It got ripping. It got absolutely ripping in here, and I was kind of hoping I'd have a little bit more control over it, because I was trying to get a slow burn for a couple of hours, maybe not a couple of hours, but an hour and 30 minutes. But once it went up, it was like a controlled detonation almost. It just, when it went up, it was up, and it was really hot in here, and then it got really cold. So I'm thinking I'm gonna need to get a new stove. If you look, it's warped, and air gets in where air is not supposed to get in, and you could actually see, like, not open flame, but you can see the flame on the inside and some of the joints and some of the rivets and stuff like that. So I'm thinking it might be time for a new stove. The other thing that I'm noticing about the inside of this tent is that it's dark. It's really dark. It doesn't, even during the day, it doesn't let a lot of light through. So I'll just have to work around that. But all in all, not terrible night's sleep, but not a great night's sleep, because this one right here just wouldn't leave me alone. So it is what it is. We're gonna get out. I actually brought a jet boil for the first time, so I'm gonna do that to get coffee going. That way I don't have to make a whole other fire. But I'll catch up with you guys once we get up and dressed and moving. All right, I'm up and moving. Something got into the car last night and destroyed my new jacket. ate the inside of it and burrowed into it. Nothing else was taken except for a little bit of dog food, but what are you gonna do? Like, you could see little bits and pieces of it on my hat, but it's just the way she goes. I might end up having to get a new one, but for right now it's working just fine. Making a cup of coffee, like I said. Yeah, we're gonna do a pour over. So this is some of the best coffee I've ever had. It's from a guy out of Australia. His name's Field Days. He's got his own YouTube channel. Kind of the reason I got into it. He's, you know, goes out, he lives in Australia, he camps, he subsistence fishes, he lives off the land, and he promotes his own coffee. And I gotta say, this comes from Australia. It's one of the best coffees I've ever had. I don't know what it is, but it's really wonderful. And so if I get one hand, there we go, I got one. So it's actually full coffee, it's just a pour over. So it's its own filter. You rip it open, you put it in there, you pour the hot water over it, and boom, you got yourself a fresh cup of coffee. So I'm gonna do that. It requires 2 hands at times to do it. So then when I'm done, I'll come back with you guys. All right, so as you can see, it's just a pour over. You just pour the stuff over and pour it over, and you get a fresh cup of coffee. I use this thing. This is my, quote, jet boil. It's not actually a jet boil. It's like an off-brand one. Yeah, it says jet boil, but it is definitely not. It's probably counterfeited from China, but I really like it. It was like 25 bucks and didn't have all the bells and whistles. It's got an auto ignition right there, a little black thing, and it gets water boiling real quick. So I don't really have anything to complain about. What's my dog doing? Oh, and then I got this titanium. Set. You guys will see this later on. Not in this video, but probably in the next video. I'm actually, as soon as I get done here, I am heading out to Idaho to visit some old friends. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you kind of what I have in my pack in my car. That's kind of a get home safe. You know, fire starting this. You know, food, extra clothes, you know, stuff like that, just in case you end up finding yourself having to walk home. It's a pack, you know, pretty light pack you can throw on and off you go. But again, that's for another video. I'm going to enjoy this cup of coffee and kind of plan where we're going to go from here. And here's what it looks like after. Look how beautiful this is. I can't stress you how cold it is. Everything is frozen. Everything's freezing up. But, I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. In fact, it's so cold, I think I'm going to end up taking Ivy back. She's not doing so hot. She's having a hard time. She's really cold. I think that this probably wasn't a great one for her to go on. I probably should have gone on, you know, something a little warmer first, but I'm probably going to end up scooting her back into town and then coming back out just real quick. It's only 40 minutes, so not too bad, but I'm going to finish my coffee and then we're going to load up and I'm going to get her home. So I took Ivy home. She caught the chills, and once she caught the chills, there was no way to warm her back up. And even in the car, she was still kind of chilly, and I had the heat at max blast there. But as we got home, she started to do better, which is awesome. You know, again, it was my fault. I probably shouldn't have picked, you know, I mean, so the difference between here and town is about 10 degrees. It's about 35 in town, and it's about 25 here, and that was the last temperature that I had coming up here. And it's snowing. It's been snowing kind of off and on whole time, but it really got bad on my way up. And I actually had to engage the all-wheel drive, which is kind of cool. I haven't ever had that ability before. It's always been, you know, or I've had it before, but with the Mini, it was one wheel go. You know, hold on, do your best, don't get stuck. But so I'm gonna go out and get some more firewood now that we're back. And I had some. I'll show you. I had some for breakfast, kind of on the go. I had some Purely Elizabeth. Oh, let's see here. I'll flip it around. Wait. There we go. I had some Purely Elizabeth granola. Do not recommend. Elizabeth,
not that great. It's like a two out of 5 stars. It was super salty at the end, really bitter aftertaste. Not real impressed with it, but that's what I brought out, so that's what I'm gonna eat, you know, kind of as I go. And then tonight I'm actually gonna cook because I have some energy this time around. I think tonight we're gonna do ground beef and teriyaki rice. I kind of think that'll be the route that I go. I brought steak, ground beef, and bacon. So we'll see. Like I said, last night I was just so tired, just wanted to go to bed, and I actually slept 11.5 hours, which is really, really cool. I don't normally do that, but we're gonna go out and get some more firewood. We're actually gonna have a fire out there. I kind of feel good about the amount of firewood that I got for the wood stove, and we're gonna try and have a fire out there just to kind of end out the night. I might end up just cooking out there too, because it's there's a lot more space to move around. I don't know if I've said it, but that tent, it's cool. I mean, I like the fact it's not like it wasn't like the teepee where you would have a part sticking out and the tent was or the stove was in a really bad spot. I like the way it's set up. I just wish there was a little bit more room, and I wish that the tent poles weren't right directly in the center of everything. You got 2 tent poles. One is you're coming in, and one is you're going into the stove room, and it's kind of a pain. I don't really like that, but other than that, I like the fact that it's canvas. It's definitely warmer than my other tent. I know that for sure. So I'm gonna say it. The chainsaw is a wonderful invention. It is a pain in the butt doing it this way, but yeah. So I found this big piece of downed cedar, and I decided to take it. Well, it was about half a mile from the camp, so I had to cut it and I had to drag it. It's probably, I don't know, 150, 200 pounds. So I just had to take a piece and just drag it as far as I could, and then, you know, take a break and drag it back. But yeah, I'm trying to show you guys the top down method, and I'm trying to have a fire that burns, you know, that burns for a long time and is really hot, because, you know, I need to get cooking. But yeah, I just figured I'd let you guys know that, you know, it takes me, I don't know, anywhere between 20 and 30 minutes to get a piece done. I mean, it's like, it's almost the size of my hand. So, I mean, you know, around anyway. So yeah, not exactly easy work, but if I want a hot fire, that's the great thing about fire. I get warm a couple of times. I get warm dragging it, cutting it, splitting it, and then actually having the fire. So this is what I'm talking about as far as the top-down method. So up here you have your small stuff, right? It goes from small to largest. So you have your small stuff up here, you have your medium stuff down here, you have your larger stuff down here, and then at the very bottom you have your super large stuff. So that's beneficial for a couple of reasons. One is, like yesterday when this thing was covered in snow, if you can keep the logs off the top of the snow, that's going to create less issues in the long run for you, right? Because, you know, you get your hot logs into the snow, and all you're going to do is put your fire out. Number two, it works. It works actually really well. You'll be surprised at how well it works, because all these coals are going to go down into these, and it's going to get them to, it's going to keep the cycle going, right? As opposed to, you have some stuff underneath it, you have some, you know, you have your tinder underneath it, and then you know, either the tinder goes out or it doesn't actually catch. This keeps a constant flow of coals and heat going downward, as opposed to, like I said, you just use, if you just use your tinder, then it's just going to go out. And there's no way I'm going to be able to burn these, right? I'm not just going to be able to apply flame to them. They're, you know, they got snow, and they're damp. It wouldn't work. I couldn't just, you know, apply flame to them and have them go off. So what this is going to do is it's just going to keep dropping those coals down, dropping those coals down, dropping those coals down, warming it up and warming it up. I saw YouTube videos on it. I was like, oh, you know what? I don't know if that's really going to work that well. But I ended up trying it in my wood stove at home, in my actual wood furnace at home. And man, I got to tell you, it works fantastic. I can get gigantic pieces that would never get a chance, and I wouldn't have a chance to get going. And I've been able to get my run times up from 8 to 12 hours just by putting those big, huge pieces on the bottom and having all the tinder and stuff up top. And the flames inside the heater, inside my furnace circulate, right? Because it's just a a box, a fireproof stainless steel box, so those flames have to go around and constantly, and they end up hitting it and heating it up. Like I said, it's a really good technique. And so once this gets up and going really well, I will get back with you and we'll start doing some cooking. I actually have the ground beef on the hood of my car right now because, like I said, I had to take the dog home, so I was hoping that would warm it up a little bit. If it's still frozen, we'll deal with it because that's just how it goes. All right, so cooking dinner, sun's going down. Sun's going down faster than I thought it was going to. I should have known better. I mean, I checked the sunlight up and down times. But as you can see here, I got some ground beef. I had to add some water because it was frozen solid. And so right now we're boiling up water for that rice. Remember those meals I was saying that weren't that good? Yeah, they're like vegan and everything. Yeah, we're gonna fix that by putting beef in there. Yeah, I'm super hungry, so I'm probably gonna eat like most of it. But if you look around, you can see that it doesn't matter because I can just like stick it outside and it'll be frozen by the time I get up in the morning, so long as no other critters have gotten into it. All right, top-down method for the win. Look at that. All those logs are going. There's no sign of this fire getting put out. I'm pretty happy with that. I think that worked really, really well. And you can see, like I said, all the coals down there. It would have been a really good fire to cook on if I hadn't added these two right there. But I kind of wanted to keep the heat. In the center so everything would burn down. So, a cup of coffee. Man, what if I told you that was still not the worst cup of coffee I ever had? And for dinner, we have this. No, it doesn't look particularly appetizing, but it's food, and it's warm food, and it's actually not bad. I'm kind of surprised. The rice has vegetables in it, and they call it teriyaki, but I don't think it's teriyaki. It's whatever. It's weird, whatever it is. But the hamburger too. So I'm just gonna eat this up, and then I'll catch up with you guys when I get back in the tent. We're gonna have a fire in the stove, and I'm just gonna relax and probably lay down and go to sleep. So as I've been sitting here thinking, I know that I reference my time in the military a lot, and it's funny because I'm trying to rack my brain for a story. It's stories around the campfire time as far as I'm concerned, but I honestly can't think of one that's not violent or adult themed or something. Just something that I don't have any really clean military stories. I just don't. And I'm even racking my brain trying to come up with stories from when I was a police officer, and I'm having a real hard time with that too, because all the funny stuff is like the crazy stuff, the stuff that you're not allowed to talk about. The crazy person who decides to fight you while naked, or the all the dark humor, that goes on. In fact, I can think of one instance where one instance in particular that involved a slow speed pursuit, and it didn't end like we all thought it was going to end, but it's just been nonstop kind of like inside joke between myself and the other officers involved. It just you have to find the dark humor. You have to find the dark humor in it in order to keep going sometimes, and that's why it's really hard for me to keep this a family-friendly channel and keep the humor to a minimum, because I got plenty of funny stories, but none of which will get me. Well, you probably don't want your kids hearing these stories for sure. But I can think of one story that I think from my police time in the police that was absolutely hilarious.
So one of the guys at the sheriff's office ended up getting some student driver, please. What is it? Student driver, please be patient. And he got a whole bunch of them made, and they were all stickers or magnetic sticker things. They were yellow, and they had black writing. And so we ended up getting our hands on them. And I would get my car. I'd have stickers put on my car, and I'd always catch them because I like to pay attention to stuff. I'm constantly scanning and looking around. But I 9 times out of 10, I'd catch it, or if they put it in a really odd spot, I wouldn't catch it. Well, one day it had kind of died down, right? We weren't getting as many stickers put on. The joke had kind of run its course. Well, I come into the police department, and the way that our police department was in through you had your parking bays, and then you had a side door, and I'd go in through the side door. I didn't like going through the front door. The side door had a code, didn't have to worry about keys, so I'd always go through the side door. So I went into the side door, and one of my coworkers had parked his car just absolutely like an idiot. There's no other way for me to describe it. Like, absolutely like an idiot. And so I call him up, and it goes to voicemail. I'm like, what is going on? Like, he's not there. There's nobody there. Like, what is going on? He's taking up 2 spots with one car, like inside a bay. Like, what is going on? So I call up my sergeant. I'm like, hey man, why did he park like this? He's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be doing some work to his car. He just brought it by. I said, no. Why did he park like this? Like, it looks like somebody just decided to park it. And he's like, well, show me a picture. So I show him a picture, and he starts cracking up. He's like, oh my God, you know what you got to do next, right? So I found one of the stickers and put it on his car. He came back from vacation, took his car out, and the story goes that he didn't catch it for days. That he had been driving around with this thing for days. And people were honking at him and trying to tell him to take it off. He didn't even see it. Oh, that was awesome. I actually have a picture. I have a picture of him, the way that he parked and put the sticker on. But the best part was that he didn't even catch it. It just went on for days. It was like the gift that kept on giving. I'd hear people text me like, "Hey, he still got it on." That was wonderful. Oh man. And I think for right now, that's about the only clean, not crazy story I have. All right, tent stove's going. Got the dig set up for tonight. I'm gonna lay down, and this is really nice. I'm just going to bed when the sun goes down and waking up when the sun comes up. So, if anything happens, I'll get back with you, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be it. So I will see you guys in the morning for day 3. Morning, everyone. Welcome to morning 3. I slept okay last night. Keeping the fire going was a chore. Like I said, I need to get a new stove, but I slept a lot, which was nice. I fell asleep about 8 o'clock, and I woke up about 8 o'clock. Obviously, I woke up in between, and I had to use the bathroom and get the fire up and running again just to keep it warm in here. But yeah, so I think I'm actually going to cut this one short. I kind of want to spend some time with my wife before I head out on my next adventure, and if I head out today, I'll be able to spend tonight and tomorrow a lot of the day with her before I head back out on my next adventure. And I'll be honest with you, I've had my fill this time around. It's just been nonstop cold. It's been really hard to warm up. The wind's just been going. I feel like I came out here and just got a chance to make a video, but
yeah, like I said, there's some other things that are kind of going on in my work life that are kind of iffy at the moment. Not bad, actually, quite the opposite. Really good, possibly, but I have zero service. There's nothing out here, so I can't. I know that's the whole point of coming out here, is to get away from technology and focus on being in the now, and but unfortunately, if there are some things going on at work that are time sensitive, and if I don't get going on that, it could be something that I lost again, and so what I'll probably end up doing is I'll probably end up breaking down camp and heading back out, heading home, and kind of see what's going on with that. But I'll keep everybody in the loop as far as what goes on. I'll video myself trying to take some stuff down, but like I said, I think I'm gonna call it. Okay, so this whole time I didn't realize there was a door right here. See, this is, like I said, this is a brand new tent. This whole time I didn't realize that there was a door here. I was just sitting there looking at it, I guess for the first time in daylight, because I was just moving stuff in and out, moving stuff in and out, but I wasn't really paying attention. This thing has a door. That makes setup and breakdown so much easier. And look, I don't have to bring the wood in through there, which was an absolute pain because I kept getting wood pieces all over everything. That's awesome. Like I said, I feel like an idiot because I only just found it, but I'm really glad that I did, because that just makes everything so much easier. That actually brings this tent up a little bit higher in my book. Now that I don't have to go in and out through the I could set it even out here. God, that makes life so much easier. That's actually a really good idea. But like you said, I'm gonna start packing up here. Not much has changed on the ice planet Hoth. It has been really, really quiet. The only thing that I've heard is the chirping of the squirrels and the coyotes on day one. But yeah, it's been actually really serene. Falling asleep's been interesting because I've just been falling asleep. Like, that doesn't normally I got to do 50 million things before I get there. But even with the quiet, I haven't had the tinnitus has been at a minimum. But all right, like I said, I'm gonna get to going, get into breaking down, and we'll be back with you in a bit. All right, guys. So we are packed up. I did one last look. Always do one last look and make sure that you're not missing anything. I almost forgot my flashlight. So, yeah, that was it. I'm gonna actually head home, and we'll go over everything when I'm at home. I just kind of want to get some of this gear out and drying out because it's obviously covered in ice and snow. So, yeah. Luckily I have a wood room. I have a wood furnace, so we're gonna put everything down there and let it dry off. That's gonna be a whole nother batch of interesting in and of itself, trying to find room and all that stuff, but we'll get her sorted. So that's it. I will get with you guys back when I get home. All right, made it home and have a surprise. Battle box. I feel like this is a good time to kind of wrap up what I liked about this trip and what I didn't like about this trip, and kind of call it for there. Get this into the editing. Look at that, I got ash on my face. Get this into editing and then get it sent out. So I was right. Turns out that the possible promotion for my job posted, and it posted yesterday at like 5 p.m. So I'm glad that I came back. It's going to give me a little bit of time to get my letter of interest in and get that going. So things that I liked about the trip. I liked the 4Runner. I really liked the 4Runner. I was really happy with the way that it ran. I liked the fact that I could switch it into all-wheel drive just by hitting the button on the side. Getting up and out or getting up and around those trails were really good. It worked really, really well. In fact, one time I actually, prior to starting the video, I went to make a turn, took the turn too wide and put one wheel in the ditch, and I was able to put it in 4-wheel drive, back it up, and send it, get it back out. The rear end got a little bit warbly on some turns, but like I said, once I got the once I got the all-wheel drive going, everything was just fine.
I really like the Forerunner. I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy with the work that we had done to it. I just hope it continues to, I hope it continues to run reliably. That's the whole thing. It's got the 4-wheel. It's got everything I needed, or everything I need. I just want it to be reliable. I liked the tent. The tent was it's different. It's different than my other tent. It's got a different setup, and the room is different. I don't know if it's going to be conducive to cooking. I'm not 100% sure it's going to be conducive to cooking. It's kind of a pain, but I like the fact that it's got that one side door that I just found. That's going to make life a lot easier. But as far as getting in there and cooking inside the tent, there's just not enough room. And, sitting down, you're not going to be able to really exactly sit down in that tent on my chair like you could in the other teepee tent. Things I didn't like. I should have thought this through better with the dog. I really should have. She kind of gave me a little bit of a scare there when she was having a hard time getting up and moving, and so I should have thought about that. I should have thought about that. And the other thing was getting firewood. Getting firewood was actually super difficult this time around. It was like my first chat. It was like the first video I ever uploaded, where I decided to go out and throw caution in the wind, and I had a real hard time getting that stove going. So that was the two real big concerns that I had, and everything ended up working out in the end. So I'm gonna actually open this up, and I'm not sponsored by BattleBox. As a matter of fact, I pay to have a BattleBox sent to me every month. We're gonna see. Sometimes things here are really hit or miss, and we'll go from there. Make sure I don't show my address. Oh, look at that. First aid stuff. Oh man. Blood clotting stuff, right? We got a quick cot, we got a tourniquet, we got gloves, markers. It's got everything you need for massive bleeds, man. I love this. This is wonderful. I harp on it. Get some medical training. Know what to do if something happens, right? It could be something small from a minor cut like I have right here all the way up to a missing limb, right? You never ever know, right? And that's for the regular world, everything. You could be at the grocery store, something could fall and somebody could get injured. You never ever know. So I think this is a wonderful thing to have. Everybody should have some form of first aid training and have some form of first aid kit. So we're gonna put this to the side. Oh, sweet. We got freeze-dried food. I will be able to review this on the next one and tell you guys what I really think about it. As you know, I'm a food connoisseur, so I think that this is, I could definitely go out and review this and see. But I can't say yay or nay for this right now. Not as good as the blood clot kit right there. Another one, another hemostat. Man, they're doing really good with this one. I really like this. This is, again, first aid. What is this? What do we got here? Oh, another package of oh, sweet. A BattleBox gift card. That's cool. I hope I didn't just give you all the information. No, I didn't give you all the information on it. Oh, no way. Oh, that is awesome. Signal mirror. That is awesome. So these have been used since World War II, I believe, and they use these. So basically what you do is you take this and you eye it up, just like you're looking through a scope, and you eye it up and you reflect the sun off of it, and whatever you're hitting it on, it's gonna reflect back. So the sun has like a range of like 10 miles if you put it on a mirror. So like airplanes, boats, helicopters, any of that stuff, if you're trying to get a message out and you have clear line of sight, this is something really good to have. In fact, I will probably just throw this in my pack just because, and it's got that film. You take the protective because you don't want to get the mirror all messed up. But yeah, it says it's got instructions, and yeah, it's really cool. It even says that even if no aircraft or ships are in sight, you can still reach out there and get it. So that's really cool. And let's see here. Oh, sweet. Look at that. A cutlery set. That is slick. I like that. I really like that. So I will say normally Battle Box is hit or miss. Sometimes you get something really cool. Sometimes you get, sometimes there's one or two things that are really cool. Other times there are things that are... This was a really good one. I really like this one. I'm definitely going to try this out on our next camping adventure. Like I said, we're going to be going on some adventures here, but I don't necessarily think they're going to be camping adventures. We'll see. So I'm going to be going and visiting some friends in Idaho for the next couple of days, and they were friends that I used to pal around with back when I lived there. We did a lot of camping, a lot of hunting, a lot of fishing together, and so they were the ones that I took that boat trip with. So I'm going to go out there and hang out there and pal around for a few days and kind of just relax, get out and about. But I think that about wraps it up. Thank you guys for watching. To be sure to tell your friends, I'm trying to get this channel to grow. If you like the content, great. If you don't, I get that too. It's not everybody's cup of tea. But again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.